JaMar Cup Fantasy Football, Take 5. Gentlemen, and welcome to JaMar Cup Fantasy Football Live. You might notice something different about tonight's episode. It's a very dark place. No, not because we lost, but it's finally black and silver. Oh! We got one! We did one. That's right, we did one. We're not going to do any more because we need to keep that first round pick, the number 1 overall. We're not going to do any more. So, don't count on any more celebrations or sweet jerseys or Tim Brown appearances. Next week it'll be back to, shirt, tie, maybe even a sport coat. It's going to be a very buttoned up episode next week. So here we are, it's week 12. We are already in week 12. Now, as some of you might have noticed, I posted a picture of the lake a few days ago. Seems like forever ago, doesn't it? Forever. Forever. Now, it's that time of year again. Apparently, I'm too lazy to trim my beard and comb my hair. So, deal with it. But it's week 12. We're very close to the playoffs. I can smell it. You know what? It smells good. I thought it was maybe the wine, but no, it's the playoffs. And yes, this is real wine. I know what you're saying. Brown, it's probably just water that you put some food color in, like those TV shows where they put Coke and water and call it Jack or something. No, that is 100% pure wine. And I'm drinking it with a white shirt on. Oof. I'm testing it tonight, boys. Testing it. Let's get back to what matters. It's week 12. The playoffs are right around the corner. Now, what playoffs? Playoffs. We got Dave, we got Zach, and we got Brad. Do those 3 names ring a bell? Dave, Zach, Brad. You're right. Those were the 3 guys that were not at the lake for the draft. They were on a phone. You know where they are now? They're sitting at home, watching the playoffs. They're not in it. They're watching. Let that be a lesson to the rest of you. You better show up. I know you all will show up, but I'm more talking to those 3 guys, Dave, Brad, Zach. Show up next year, August 19, 20, 21, 22. Somewhere in there. Plan on it. Dave, nobody has planned a wedding already, okay? I have planned a draft. I mean, this is life. This is all that matters, is fantasy football. This is life. Tim Brown here, he's just a sticker. I know a lot of you thought he was really here. He's just a sticker. Fantasy football is life. It'd probably be this way to you guys, I-F-E, life. Yeah, that just happened. So anyway, put it in your calendar. No weddings will take precedence, Dave. You can't have 2,000 best friends. I've heard it all. Brad, if I have to stop in Indianola on the way down there, I'm getting your ass. Zach, I don't know. Webster City's a long way out of the way. You better just drive down here on your own. But I need your guys' money first. Give me that money. I mean, you're just throwing it away anyways. You're going to spend $50 at the wedding, Dave. Might as well save it. Save it during one of those weddings. And put it towards football. I mean, this is life. Have some fun with the boys. Yeah. Let's get to it. Playoffs. It's that wonderful time of year when the best shine. This is my time. I took a year off. I was like, I'm just going to let everybody else, see how it feels. Just get that little taste, just a tit, see how it feels. But I'm back. And I mean business. You know why? Because Josh Gordon sells mother-f***ing cars. You know who else sells cars? Not Mario. He sells trailers and big-ass buses. Mario, that reminds me, that brings up a very important point. We're going to need transportation down to the lake next year. Think we could borrow that bus, maybe? Just think about it. Anyway, we got Scott at the top of the rankings with 9-2 record. You guys really let Scott get a 9-2 record? That's garbage. But Scott's in. Arrow's 8-3. Arrow's already in. Scott probably has a bye locked up. Arrow, if he gets a win one of these next 2 weeks, he's locked up a bye. So, great. Let's have those two teams just automatically playing for money. Real cool. I mean, I did all I could. I got my ass beat by those guys. Beat. But anyway, we got Brandon, 7-4. Now, Brandon, your text a few days ago, you said, I really want to knock Mario out. Well, you're going to have to, because you still need that one win to assure yourself of a playoff spot. 7 will get you in, but if you're going to need that one more to really solidify it. And then we got a nice collection of what I feel is going to be, there's 3 spots for 5 people. We got Zach, myself, Jason, Mario, and Brad. Now, it's just like the college football playoffs. There's no sense in trying to plan 2 weeks ahead who's going to be in, who should be in. Is Auburn really the 19th best team? The answer is no, they're not. They're better than that. They're like 3rd or something. Is Mississippi State really that good? Who knows? Let's let it play out. It's like premature whatever shin. I don't know what that is. I don't know. Maybe somebody can come on here and tell me, but it's 3 spots, 5 people. There's going to be multiple head-to-head matchups, so let's let it play out. I got to play Jason this week. I'm going to go ahead and assume that the winner is in. The winner's in. So it's you and me, Jason. Let's go right now. Why wait till Sunday? Why wait until Tuesday? It's not snowing here. We're ready to play. Let's go. Let's go. You got Kyle. Kyle's in as of this moment, but the way his team's been trending lately, 2 losses could, spell the end for you, Kyle. Then we got Mario, who's going up against Snit and Arrow in the next 2 weeks, so I kind of hate to say it, Mario, but I'm going to go ahead and put you on the bottom list of those 5. That's some tough sledding. I hope you can pull it out, but that's some tough sledding. You got Brad. Brad's got some, I don't know, is it a good matchup? Is it a bad matchup? Who knows? We've played him already once, but it's gonna be fun last couple weeks. So the head-to-heads are really gonna be important if you guys, if you want to pay attention to that stuff. So for this week's preview, we're gonna focus on those playoff matchups with the playoff implications for the playoff round seeding for the playoffs. Playoffs! So first we've got the Commish, 6-5, versus Something Clever here, 6-5 also. I'm going to take you back to week 1. I guess all these matchups are honestly week 1 rematches. Duh. But Jason, your first taste of the league. I'm sorry you had to play me. It had to be somebody though. You're destined to lose. I'm sorry. Now, we're at the end of the season. You can play spoiler, or you can just continue your losing ways and just come back next year, ready to get after it. Like I said last week, your team's probably 1 year away. Now your projection says you're going to get 140 points. I'm going to go ahead and doubt that. I might get 140 points. I don't know. But the players to watch for this matchup, I mean, obviously it's Josh Gordon. That's number one. Josh Gordon's been selling cars, smoking weed, probably doing some crack. I don't know. People tell me you can't do crack. You have to smoke it or chop it up. I don't know. I mean, don't you get the point? You're doing illegal drugs. I mean, don't bullshit me on the details. That's just dumb. You look like a fool. But it's Josh Gordon. You know, last year he had 2-game suspension. Comes out his first game, 10 receptions, 140 yards, a touchdown. I mean, that's the least you could do for me, right, Josh? You've had 10 weeks to just sit around and, oh man, I'm ready. I'm going to tear this up. Tear it up. Ooh, tear it up. Yeah, that was my Josh Gordon impression, by the way. So Josh Gordon is number one. Can he get the projections? We'll see. I don't know. What I'm really banking on is Jordy Nelson, Mike Evans, and Brandon Marshall. You know, they didn't do much for me. Okay, Brandon Marshall hasn't done much for me all year, let's say. Mike Evans is really coming on. Jordy Nelson's just been dominating. I wasn't on here last week. I really wanted to tell Joe, Jordy Nelson's going to kill it! I know that wasn't my best Brandon Snicker impression, but Jordy Nelson killed it, Joe. So that's what I'm looking at. You know, I went heavy on the receivers this year. Real heavy. I figured LaShawn McCoy, give me 1,800 yards. Give me 12 touchdowns. I mean, that's not asking too much, honestly. And I figured Jordy Nelson, Brandon Marshall, they just dominate. And I was like, oh, I'll take a flyer on Ingram and Evans late. Albeit, you know, maybe by the end of the year, they're in the offense ready to go. Mike Evans, welcome. Mark Ingram, you know, he struggled last week, but I'm gonna play him. He's gonna get 200 yards and a touchdown. I'm not gonna put that on my bench. Crazy. Now for Jason, I'm just not sure. You know, it's that lineup where it's still like a year away. You know, he's got those 4 running backs. Where, I'll give it to you, Ellington's probably low top tier. You know, he's a low level 1 running back. But then you got Crowell. Who's going to get all those carries there this week? Yeah, Ben Tate's gone, but Ben Tate hasn't played for like the last 4 weeks. Josh Gordon's going to get all those carries and receptions. Yeah, he's going to run the ball too. I can pretty much guarantee it. You got Trey Mason. I just don't know. Steven Jackson, you know, it's good to get guaranteed carries, but are they going to get enough to make a difference? You know, are you counting on that lucky garbage time, or you know, you get that 20-yard touchdown in the first quarter, and then he doesn't play the rest of the game? That'll come back and haunt you real quick. So, I don't know. I mean, they're good running backs. They're guaranteed carries. You know, Ellington's at Seattle. I kind of find that hard to believe that he's going to average 14 points or get 14 points like the projection says, but weirder things have happened. Oakland almost won in Seattle, so maybe he does. Who knows? We'll let it play out. But, you know, there's a guy I like to call Jay Cutler. Which Jay Cutler are you going to get, Jason? It seems like it's a very repetitive, you know, every week. Jay Cutler good, Jay Cutler bad. You know, they got a very good matchup, but I don't know. I feel like Tampa Bay's they've got something to prove. You know, Lovie Smith's coming back. Josh McCown's coming back. It's a toss-up, man. I feel like Cutler's going to get dominated this week. Minus his 3 touchdowns to Brandon Marshall, which cancel us out. So, I mean, whatever. Then you got Julio Jones. You know, rounding it all out. Julio. You know, it's yeah, he was your only keeper, the only guy you could have kept. I mean, I don't see anybody else complaining. because you're 6-5. There's a lot better guys you should have kept, but whatever. But, you know, Julio he goes as Matt Ryan goes. They're at home, so, you know, he's probably going to get 20 targets. Can he do something with that? He's going to need to for you to win this matchup. Because the winner is going to the playoffs. And the loser is going to have to fight for that last week just to get in. So, good luck next week, Jason. Good luck. Next we've got Johnny Heismanzel, 8-3, versus Owen Hu, 6-5. Now we know Arrow's already in. He's fighting for that bye. If he gets this win, he's, you know, pretty much assured locked up a first-round bye, which, I mean, it's not going to matter because he's got all his running backs just loaded up on him. You know, it's nice you got Justin Forsett. Just, I'll pick him up off the waiver, and here's 20 points a week. Sure, yeah, whatever. It must be nice. Lamar Miller, it's been good for you this year. Tell him I send my well wishes. It's the best thing I could think of there because I took him in the 5th round and he was garbage last year. So, cool. We've got Kyle, kind of been sliding lately. I think it all coincides with the Denver Thomases. You know, I don't know, you're playing St. Louis. You think you could get something out of Demarius. Who cares that he's the only healthy guy still available? Just throw it to him, Peyton. Just throw it to him. I mean, is Julius going to play this week? I don't know. Probably not. So, who's Kyle's backup? Your team's trending in the wrong direction, Kyle. You know, I gave you all this. I blew all this smoke at you earlier in the year, you know, because the team was good. Demarius was rolling. Julius was rolling. Your Smith combination in Baltimore was, one of them was rolling. You know, somebody was getting you points every week. It's kind of been sliding lately. Julius Thomas has kind of been downhill. I don't know, he's just not getting the targets or what it is, but then you got Terrence West. With Ben Tate there, you know, they're splitting the carries, and is he going to get enough? Now Ben Tate's gone. Crowell is going to be he went off last week. This week it could be Terrence West. Maybe Crowell gets 5 carries and West gets 25 carries. But like I said earlier, Josh Gordon's going to get at least 10 carries. So, I mean, neither of you guys should really count on anything out of your running backs. And so then we got Arrow. I talked about the running backs already. I mean, you can pretty much guarantee a win when your running backs are getting 15 points. You got 5 spots, just here's 15, here's 15, here's 15. Then you got Tom Brady, who's had quite the resurgence this year. You know, Will thought last year, I thought last year, like, oh, you get him late, you know, maybe he has a comeback year. But then he struggled last year. So this year it's like, well, you can get him later, and he struggled the first couple weeks, but lately I think it's all been Gronk, honestly. You know, you get Gronk back healthy, and it's just skyrocket. It's still Tom Brady, like he never left. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with Arrow this week to lock up that first round bye, and then Kyle again. You know, we got Jason and Kyle next week. You're gonna have to fight that last week to get in the playoffs. So I haven't looked ahead to see who you play, but it's gonna be, you're gonna have to fight. You have to fight, or hope Mario and Brad lose. So, which brings me to the final matchup concerning the playoff picture for this week. We got Snit Squad at 7-4 versus Taste the Rainbow at 5-6. I don't know what to tell you, Mario. Is this Drew Brees downhill slide here? I mean, you know, you used to be able to bank 30 points. That was a bad day, 30 points for Brees. You're like, oh my God, 55 points. So, yeah, that's normal. Now can he get to 20 points? So you know, you're going to have to win both games. You got to win this week, and you got to win next week. You got to beat Snit, and you got to beat Aero. You know, we talked earlier in the year. We said, you and me had the toughest beginning schedule. I mean, I got Jason, and then the tough schedule. But you start tough and carry it on. So, I mean, Breeze is going to have to go to Graham early and often against Baltimore. Just chuck it. You're going to need like 353 touchdowns out of Breeze. Probably $110 and at least 2 out of Graham. Honestly, to keep this thing close. You know, is Emmanuel going to play this week? Because he's been really consistent for you here lately. He's getting about 100 yards and a touchdown every week. You're going to need it. You're going to need everybody to show up. You know, Macklin's got to get that rapport with Sanchez. Just like, who's Jordan Matthews? You're going to throw it to this rookie over me, Jeremy Macklin? You're going to need everybody, Mario. Everybody's going to have to hit it. You know, you're going to get that 30-point game out of Sanders. And then, you know, then you got a shot. You got Brandon. His team, I don't know. To me, it doesn't look as good as it normally does, but he's still 7-4. So, you know, I can't really say much, but it just doesn't have that. I'm Brandon. I'm 11-1. Look out! Can't beat me unless you have Jamal Charles go for 5 touchdowns in the playoffs. So, you know, you're going to be starting Russell Wilson or Matt Ryan. I don't know, dude. Whatever. Flip a coin. Probably, you know, Russell Wilson's going to get you more consistent points because he's going to get some rushing yards, but it's probably aren't the 2 quarterbacks I'd want to roll into the playoffs with. Thanks, buddy. Then you got the Cowboys receivers, which, you know, Dez is good, but then are you gonna roll with Terrence Williams? I mean, you're gonna roll with both those guys and then hope that one goes really awesome and one goes somewhat awesome? It's not the Brandon that I know. It's been an off year for you, Brandon. I'm kind of worried. Are you alright? Call me, we'll talk. And finally, you got Vincent Jackson. You know, during the draft, it's like, he's still there, right? That I'm not misreading that. It's still Vincent Jackson? Yeah, I'd take him in the 8th round. That's cool. I'm glad you did. I would have, but I'm glad I didn't. It's like the Bears. You know, you think Josh McCown would just, like he was with the Bears last year. Oh, here's Alshon and here's Brandon. Let me just throw it to one of you guys. You're both 6'20", 6'20". You figure that conversion out at home. It's like 8 feet tall. Wow. This one's a little tougher to call. You know, on paper it looks like Mario. Strong Mario. Yeah, Brandon's got Randall Cobb, who's probably going to go for, you know, he's been going for 100 and a touchdown, but weather reports aren't looking so good. You know, they're saying sideways hail. I've never even heard of that, sideways hail. I mean, to me, that's like people in the crowd are just throwing snowballs across the field to see if they can hit the guy across the way. That's what sideways hail is to me. Conditions don't look good at all for this, you know, this week. For any of these matchups, they're saying hail and rain in Green Bay and 40-mile-an-hour winds and somewhere else. And then you got Buffalo, can't even play a dang game. So, oh, it's in Detroit. All right. Well, anyway, the weather's not looking good, so any of these could be a toss-up. I could just be spitting in the wind here. So, I really hope to see some of you guys at B-Dubs this weekend. You know, we had like an okay showing a couple weeks ago. Some guys showed up. Most guys didn't. Whatever. I had a beer and hit some wings with some buds. So I'm hoping more of you guys can come up this weekend. We'll be there probably 11:30, 11:45. Come on up. We'll get that nice big long table you can seat like 80 guys and 2 or 3 chicks at. So come on up, we'll have fun. Watch some football. It's almost the playoffs. Aren't you guys excited? This is life. Fantasy, football. So those of you that are still in the playoffs, keep pushing for it. The rest of you guys, give me that money. Which reminds me, next week I will post, probably write it out, but I'll post it probably to the Facebook and to the homepage here. You know, your ad drop fees, and Dave, Brad, Zach, the $50 on top of that still. So guys, start thinking about getting your money in. You can send me a check, or stop over with cash, or call me and say, hey, can you meet me here at the strip club, and I'll give you some of the cash, and some of it I'll use for the ladies, or whatever they have there. So, you know, plan ahead, start thinking about that money, and I'll see you guys at B-Dubs. I'll see you guys in the playoffs. Later.